I just had a revelation just the other day. Something that really shook my world. Now, don't be surprised if you disagree at first, but I am now in the firm belief the Earth, this Earth that we're on, is only 6,000 years old. Here's evidence, though. I know, just saying the Earth is 6,000 years old, you're thinking I'm a complete loon. But no, I brought my evidence with me, boys. First off, we have all this DNA in ancient bacteria. I'm going to say ancient like this, because if you actually think about it, a lot of these complex molecules, according to a lot of these university researchers, a lot of these molecules that should be over a couple thousand years old, those molecules should be completely broken down by then into simpler stuff like CO2 and methane, stuff like that. Therefore, the fact that these bacterial DNA is still intact into these fossils proves that they couldn't have been more than a couple thousand years old. Therefore, proof of a young Earth. Another thing, it says it right there in the Bible, folks. If you do the rough math, so it's right there in the Bible, folks. If you take the genealogies of Genesis 5, you will see that it takes about 1,600 years from the Great Flood, and then add about another 400 to 5,000 years with the birth of Abraham, and then Abraham the Christ is another 2,000, add another 2,000 from Christ to today, and that gives you anywhere between 6,000 and 10,000 years. That is way younger than any estimate by any of these scientists, as they're called. They say the Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. Right there. I mean, this is the Word of God we're talking about. We're going to trust some scientist or the Holy God right up there that we need to praise every single day. Another thing, another really good piece of evidence, people, is how you see in this video, assuming that you're watching this video, how do you see? With your eyes. And something like our eyes are really complicated. We have all these cones and rods that receive light and then somehow take that light and form it into a picture in our brain. How did all these little tiny light receptors actually, come into being? How? Something these little primitive animals came up with? BS! That is not even close to true. Know why? Because God intended it that way. He saw the humans and He created them in His own image. We are an image of God, people. I don't know what will take you to convince you. We are in His image, and He wants us to have the best and most complicated stuff. In the notion that all this around me came from nature or other creatures is just an insult to me and God Himself. And take something like our eye, which are made of so many complex parts. How can nature even come close to formatting that thing? Nature can barely even keep its own animals alive, not less make a more viable organism. It doesn't make any sense that way. But what does make sense is the eternal word of Christ. Now, I could keep going on and on about proof that all this stuff, about all this carbon dating stuff and all these fossil records are complete bunk and junk. But I won't. Because you need to discover that for yourself. So I hope that you take this knowledge and all this carefully thought out wisdom and throw it in the garbage, people, because all that is total bullshit. I hope I didn't get you really good. Yeah, maybe a little change of, maybe a little bit of a change of costume is in order. Yeah, perfect. Got my actual lab coat that I like to wear with my ace pin right there that I attach occasionally to it. The other one I actually did wear for another lab, but had to bring up 2 lab coats for this. So yeah, I hope you guys actually didn't believe anything that I just said, because I just made it up all on the fly. Yeah, I'm not that really good of an actor. That's why I only did it for like 3 minutes or so. And I actually do have an article on here I found. It's from, I shit you not, apologeticspress.org. And I'm now kind of concerned that my computer may have a fucking virus based on that one website. So now I am currently deleting my search history of that. Also, when I looked up proof that the world is 6,000 years old, and this is one of the big things that I get, was a article debunking that entire article of the one where I pulled the data for the how old the Earth is according to the Bible, and the DNA in bacteria. Now, there's one thing I did want to mention about the human eye, and that's one thing that a lot of these creationists sometimes love to point out, is how complex it is. But there's also a really big flaw in that argument, because if it was intelligently designed, why is the human eye so poorly optimized for anything? You know why? Really simple. The rods and cones are on the back of the eyeball. Light has to travel through the retina to get to the cones. However, all these cones and rods, they need blood. And there's no other way to get it except through the retina. So, no joke, when you're actually seeing, like this video for example, assuming that you are actually watching it, you actually are looking through a sheet of blood right now that your brain actually has to clear out. So, our eyes might be complicated, but they're actually really poorly optimized. And if it was a product of intelligent design, well, let's just say the designer was not very intelligent, to say the least. Now, don't make me take this as me knocking on religion or anything. I'm not. I really just don't care. But young Earth creationism is just one of the stupidest things I ever had, and I'm actually really set to graduate with a degree in biology. So, all that kind of stuff of the biological principles, I can completely just debunk off the top of my head of how it actually all works. Because, let's just say, young Earth creationism and science go in 2 completely opposite directions. It's like porn and plot going in completely different directions. And yes, this is an actual real tie that I tied for this episode alone. And all of this I just made up really at fucking 12 a.m. on April Fool's Day itself. So yeah. I know I said the video will be the cyberbully video. However, as making this one, right after I made that video, the last video of me talking about kind of life itself, I actually got hit with a pretty bad cold. It wasn't COVID or anything, but I got hit with a pretty bad cold and I could barely breathe or do anything, so I couldn't film my video. But that should be filming soon, but I also might have to delay that video again because I might be buying a better video camera, because I used to record using my laptop until my microphone broke in the laptop. So I might just be recording. I might buy a video camera and actually record it with a camera and probably get better video quality anyways. So if you're wondering why I uploading this video, that's why. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a good April Fool's Day, and I hope I didn't really fool anybody with any of the stupid bullshit that I just said. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. See ya.